And we're live. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Primetime with Legends. We are only going to be on YouTube today. It is my 43rd birthday. That's why I got a nice crown and some beads. And then I have a special guest, a great friend of mine, Aftershock Adam Ricker. Welcome to the podcast, bud.
Thanks for having me, and happy birthday, Johnny.
Hey, thanks. I took a nap. I watched some wrestling, ate a bagel hot dog. So it's been pretty good. Pretty good so
That
far.
sounds like a solid birthday to me.
It is. It's been all right. And then we're gonna have pizza after this podcast. So hey, look, we already got one viewer. Look at that. We are live, folks. So if you have any questions, you can throw them in the comments section. And if I remember, I'll try to put them into the chat. Sometimes I remember how to do that. Sometimes I don't. So we're gonna start off talking about you have a big show coming up. June 6th, the Summer Spectacular. I don't remember what he calls it for MPW and
right,
King of New England Battle Royal.
That's right. The King of New England Battle Royal's back. It's to honor Mark Godfrey, Psycho Mark Allen, King of New England Rumble. Last year, Eric Johnson won. It's basically our version of the Royal Rumble. And this year, like last year, the prize is the same. That crown that gets awarded to the winner entitles them to a championship opportunity anytime, any place they want it. So Jimmy and I are looking forward to one of us trying to snatch the crown because we got unfinished business with the pathway.
So if you do win, is that your plan, is to go after the tag titles? Is that what you want to do, is take you and your partner back to the tag titles? Because you did unjustly lose them.
I think it's a good insurance policy. I think we can make it to the tag titles on our own accord. But with, the numbers game always in the favor of the pathway, I think having a little insurance policy would be perfect, just in case.
Yeah, they keep adding members too. So the numbers game is definitely against you in that one. And that, as a former person who liked to play the numbers game, it's
I know I don't like this side of it.
Yeah, right. You used to have a stable as well, and now they're building slowly. They just added JP O'Reilly, who we all know how I think about that guy.
JP.
Yeah, I can't believe. Yeah, JP.
I think back to the days of JP and his wacky hair.
Right. Or his first match ever was against me, and he was so scared that I was going to kill him. I remember that.
Yep, I remember that too.
Now he's Mr. Hardcore Maniac. Sorry, JP, I'm still not scared of you. I know your biggest weakness, and it's a tennis racket with Legos on it.
I think the only time we had a match in Fairfield. Jimmy and we were still the station at the time versus the then CIA of JP and Ricky Williams. And JP threw a chair at my face. I remember that.
That doesn't surprise me. It sounds like a lot of stuff that JP would do.
I was just what's going on?
So we could talk more about you as well. So you've been wrestling for how many years now? I always forget how long I've been wrestling.
Well, it really started back when I was 14. I mean, I'm 40 now. When I was 14, 15, 16, I was hanging out with Luke Robinson. We were doing the little basement wrestling shows where we had mattresses out and we were, emulating what we saw on TV. And eventually Tony Atlas saw what we were doing. Luke had a connection to Tony through the gym that his uncle owned. And Tony saw some of our tapes and thought he could transfer that into in-ring skill. So I started training officially with Tony when I was 17. So that's really where it started. I've been doing it a little over 20 years.
So 20 years, that's quite a while.
Yeah, it started with Atlas Pro Wrestling shows where he would do, he rented out a small gym and he'd film like 5 episodes of he had a TV show at the time on public access. We met, that's where I met the guys I did some backyard wrestling with in Portland, the PPW guys. That was the stop I had before coming up north finally. Still, I know a lot of people harp on backyard wrestling, but those are people I've made lifelong friends with. So I definitely don't regret those days, but I definitely was finally glad to come up north and meet you guys and join the. Well, that was actually my first night up there. I believe was the night IWE became IWE. So
I think it was too, but my memory's so foggy with too many chair shots, But yeah, it was you came up and definitely made an impact. I couldn't tell you who your first match was because but IWE we started out really small and we had guys from all over and it was a big thing then. It was like the big thing in town, one of the only wrestling companies around at the time.
Yeah, I mean they Eric ran at least every month. But the then Dino's Pizza, which then became the City Side, and I think it's Mad Cats again now, I believe.
It is, yes.
Yeah, but we went through a few name changes at that venue, but that room in the back of that place holds a lot of memories.
I think when IWE started there, it was Dino's Pizza.
Yeah, it was still Dino's at the time for sure.
I believe so. Yeah, Dino was an interesting fella. He was a weird guy.
I don't remember. I have little memory of the Dino's days, but more when it was City Side.
I just remember Dino. He was just a little weird. We do have 7 viewers, but nobody wants to comment anything yet. So, okay, guys, that's fine. Be silent in the comments. We'll just sit here and rap back and forth. What else can we talk about? We'll talk about some of your biggest influences in wrestling. Like, who are some people that you look up to and that made you want to be a wrestler?
For me, I remember it was about when I was 12 and watching The Undertaker. The whole, just the showsmanship, the larger than life character that he was. I loved The Undertaker. And when Kane came about, that's really when I got into watching wrestling, is about when Kane came around. That whole feud between them was just something that just captivated me. So like those big guys really are where I took my inspiration from, like your Undertakers, your Kanes, the Natural Disasters. I loved back in the day. I've always kind of been a bigger kid, and even as I grew up, still was a big man. So I really loved all the big guys. Really,
I mean, Natural Disasters. They were. I remember when Tugboat turned to Typhoon, and I was shocked because I was watching it, and I'm like, "Wow, he's a bad guy now." But then they just they kicked ass.
I do remember that. They were some of my favorites. Demolition was some of my favorite. A couple of favorites of mine. The Legion of Doom. Just the real, like I said, the big guys really were where I drew my inspiration from. I love being a big guy wrestler.
Yeah, big guy wrestling. It's not done as well as it used to be. I remember you coming in and wrestling me when I was doing Johnnywood, and I said, "We're gonna protect your size," and you're like, "No one's ever done that." I'm like, "You outweigh me by at least 100 pounds, so we're gonna do that." we do have a couple comments already, but I'll let you go first, and then we'll get to the comments.
Yeah, there was a time where I didn't know what being blown up was, so I just would bump until I couldn't bump anymore, really. And I remember you especially like taught me to protect my size as a big guy, which I eventually grew to do. But I miss like in training class where we would have our little exhibition matches and coming up with a finish where like Neil beat me with the spear or things like that.
Yeah, to love Neil doing weighing that stuff, 130 pounds soaking wet, probably.
Right.
See if I can do this show in the comments on the stage thing. I think I can do it. There we go. Look, we can see comments right there. I don't know. Can you see them as well? I know.
I can see them now.
Well, there we go. Look, we got comments. So Baldy Bear said he was literally just typing, and he wanted to say happy birthday. Thank you.
Yeah, that's Brian.
He's a big fan of yours. Oh yeah, that is. I couldn't recognize his picture. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not great at
And
singing.
then,
Then Keith Hartford said happy birthday and asked us how we're both doing this evening. We're doing great. That's what we're here.
yeah,
We're having a good time.
doing pretty good overall tonight. I'm really excited to be here on the podcast and be here for your birthday.
Right? Oh, Megan says legend is an understatement. I wonder who that Megan Hayden lady is.
Tell them, girl, they don't know.
She
These
sounds
kids
like
don't
trouble.
know.
She sounds like trouble. So
these kids today missed our IWE days.
they do, and like I hate to quote Eric Johnson because that's just not fun ever for anybody. But I know he used to say we're the land of misfit toys, and that's what we were. We were the people that didn't really get outside bookings at first and just wanted to wrestle, and we wrestled each other so many times just because that's who we had there.
Yep. I remember when I started, IWE was a place where, like, if you did the trade, if you were training with Eric at the time, you could earn your matches that way when you were new. But there were some nights that, like, even the local guys weren't getting booked because there were so many people that wanted to come from Canada and New York and Massachusetts. It was a very hot spot once upon a time.
Yeah, we had kids come from the House of Glory School, which is huge. We had kids come from the Chaotic School, which I think has been renamed now. I think it's the New England or whatever the hell it's called now. We had kids from everywhere.
New England Pro Wrestling Academy, I think.
I think that's what it's called now. I don't know. But it used to be Chaotic back when we were back in our day. We sound like old men now. We used to have people come from there, and we had a bunch of people. That's where we met. I mean, me and you became lifelong friends at IWE.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still one of my favorite stories. I was new. I didn't know anybody. We had I think it was a double shot weekend where it was Friday night in Brewer and Saturday night in Fairfield, or other way around. But you let me stay at your place. I think you had a bunch of roommates at the time.
Yep.
And the next morning I showed you some of my backyard stuff, and you made me the most delicious coffee I've ever had.
yes, that was a good time. And I know we did talk about backyard earlier, and a lot of people do like put the stigma on that, but I started in the backyard too. Can ask my mom, 13 years old, dragging mattresses and put it in there. Like everyone gets to start somewhere. It's just don't continue to do the backyard once you're trained. You know what I mean? And a lot of the guys.
That's what it was for me. That's where I had not really a falling out, but a separate path broken off from my friends. Because I went to the backyard wrestling in Portland with Luke Robinson, and I don't know if you remember him, but Casey Duncan.
Oh yeah, he broke my nose. I remember him.
Yeah, Casey Duncan.
Yeah.
We all used to go to the backyard thing together until one day Luke's like, "Hey, there's this thing up north. Tony doesn't want us doing this backyard stuff. We're gonna go up north, and that's what we're gonna all do." And I was kind of like, "No, I like these guys. I could be myself." And I mean, I really enjoyed the experience. It's like, and it's the same now. Like, why I continue to love going to shows is because I got to see my friends. Like these are my friends, and we don't get to see each other very often. Maybe once a month, once every few months. So it's nice to get to go and see see the people I do like, see the people may not like. It's all part of the experience.
No, I agree. And as I said, I've made friends. I've made enemies. Those people who probably still don't like me. And Corey Dow said, happy birthday. Thank you. And he says, hey to you. And it's good to see both of us. It is nice to see both of us. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's always nice to see both of us. I am going to talk about something that's important to me.
Sure.
After this podcast is over, I received a bunch of, I want to say thank you everyone on my Facebook on both my Facebooks that wish me happy birthday. But I got another message from somebody, and I'm not going to reveal who it is. So after this podcast, watch my Facebook because there's going to be a release of a video that I was sent today. So I just have to talk about that. And I'm also going to talk about there's a show at the K-Part Rec Center or Boys and Girls Club, June 27th for Phoenix Pro. And the promoter sent me a few of the matches, so I'm going to talk about a couple of them. Let me get into there. Hang on, I got to get into my phone, so bear with me. Doot, 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 doot. Where is he? Where is that little short man?
Oh, the man, the myth, the legend, Marion Lawless is here, too.
Oh, hello, Lawless. All right.
My OG manager.
We do have a couple of matches. We're going to have JP O'Reilly versus Jason Maverick. We're going to have The Wild versus Malik and Brandino Davis. We're going to have Johnny Pierce has an open challenge for the Phoenix Pro title. And then Cousin Larry and Donkey Boy are going to take on NBK and the Holy Roller. So we got some good matches coming up there. And I know we'll mention MPW again as well. And I forget some of the matches that are happening. One of the big ones is King of New England, which you're in it, correct? Is Jimmy in it as well?
Jimmy and I both entering the match. We both entered last year. We're both entering this year. He just commented too. So
I was going to say, speaking of Jimmy, there he is. Limity Jim, it's my favorite. And
Jimmits.
And then Jason Maverick is taking on the openweight champion, Black Rose. Rose. His name escaped me for a second there. I'm like, damn it, he's going to be real mad about that one now.
Formerly known as Angel Cross, but Black Rose, the openweight champion, they got into a little scuffle in the
I did see
MPW
that. Yes,
locker room last time.
And then you have the one of the main event matches. You're going to have Alan Prophet taking on former WWE star Brian Kendrick.
The Brian Kendrick. He I really enjoyed his promo. I think he's going to I think he's going to humble Prophet a little bit. Prophet's got a lot going for him. He's got win after win. He's tearing it up at Crown of Maine. He's, one of the featured attractions. He's got a following. He's got a following going on up there at Crown of Maine. So I think Brian Kendrick's going to slap him down a little bit.
I hope so, because we all know how much Prophet drives me up the wall. So I hope Brian Kendrick hooks him in. He does the sliced bread. He also does that captain's hook that he used to do, and I love watching him do that. Hope he slaps either on Prophet or Chauncey. Like, that'd be fun to watch. Take that, Chauncey.
I ain't seen Chauncey in a minute.
Yeah, is he still rocking with Prophet? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think he's doing more behind the scenes, his lawyer work there.
Well, I guess that's good. He's probably got his ass kicked too many times, so he decided not to show up anymore.
I know, out there fighting Mason X and stuff, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Mason X is a little scary. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Look at that. You can't fix all that stuff with podcasts, especially when we're live, baby. So let's talk about some more about Adam Ricker. What's one of your favorite moments that you've ever had in your wrestling career?
Oh my goodness.
I know it's tough to pin down.
I want to say it was probably the first night I won the IWE championship. I had a 2 out of 3 fall street fight with Alexander Lee. I think that was the first time in a long time I discovered what being blown up was.
Yeah, that kid can move. Well, I say kid, but he's an old man like us now too.
Yeah, we had a whole series of matches, me chasing him for that title. And I learned a lot working with him. He's one of my favorite people also to work with. You were one of my favorite people to work with as well.
I appreciate that.
One of my favorite moments was our Twin Cities Championship match.
Oh, the final confrontation one that we had? Where
final confrontation when I ate that power bomb off the second rope.
Everyone was surprised that happened.
Mikey ate a face full of the J-Rock dust there.
Yes, the special J-Rock dust. Let's just leave it
at that. J-Rock primer dust in the old guitar that he struck me with. You nailed him with
that thing.
I think that was really a pivotal moment for me. That came even before the Alexander Lee match, but I think it was that moment that you pulled me up a little bit out of that rookie hole that we can get stuck in sometimes when you're new and you're new for a while. I think you helped very fundamentally pull me out of that era and into gave me that momentum to go forward.
Well, I'm glad that I could do that for you, because that's what, like, wins and losses don't mean anything to me. It's moments. Moments mean something to me. Like, that power bomb will be remembered forever. Just like the first body slam I gave you was Johnny Wood. That'll be remembered for a long time too, because that was a feat of strength. We've had so many good moments against each other, and I know I was gone for a bit, but watching you rise up with the station is probably my favorite era of Ricker. I thought that you came into your own and you were just a badass, and I loved it. It was great. Like that's one of my favorite things. You had, I'll mention him. You had Jason Rumble with you. You had the hell John Elbow with you. Who else am I missing from that? You had Jimmy Limits then too, didn't you?
Yeah, it was Jimmy Limits, Jason Rumble, and we had John Alba for a while until he stepped back to move on in his career, doing big things in the newscasting. But I was the OG John Alba guy. He came back for a while in like Let's Wrestle and Limitless, and had a moment there again. But I was the OG John Alba guy.
Well, there you go. There's a feather in your cap for that.
I'll stick it right in there too. Chauncey, what did James say? Chauncey lost a big case, so now he's embarrassed to show his face.
Yeah, maybe it's gimmick infringement against Alan Prophet for stealing like everyone else's stuff. That's right, Alan Prophet. Stop doing the cutter. Sorry, I had to.
Hey,
had to.
Hey, it's your show. You do what you got to do.
I can. So, what else do you want to talk about? The floor is yours now. I'm sort of out of questions. So, does anybody have any questions for me or Ricker while we're here? I get it. It's my birthday, but the show isn't about me. It's about us. It's about legends. And I feel like that in Maine, people know us. Like people still ask me, hey, when are you going to wrestle again? When are you going to wrestle again? Well, I'm sorry, guys. Like, I'd love to be in the King of England, but it's not going to happen. I'm not supposed to be wrestling. So, but I also don't want to win and face Eric Johnson because I've done that so many times and usually come up on the losing end.
Mike, you commented baby powder, anyone?
He liked it. Mikey likes it. He liked it a lot.
We were just talking about that, Mikey. It was one of our favorite moments.
It was.
I wouldn't mind knowing your thoughts on some of this new crop of talent we have amongst us. I believe in a post-pandemic era, a lot of new faces came out on the scene. And if you were, let's say, peak primer today, who amongst this crop of new people would you want to step in there with? Because I know I got a little list going.
Super fan John Austin has always been one I wanted to get in the ring with. And his wife Vile, that'd be fun to wrestle, just because they've come a long way and they're doing good things.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I'd like to get in the ring with Maverick. We've only wrestled once, so I'd like to, kick Maverick around a little bit. That'd be fun. I know he's not new, but he's newish. Still, he's definitely on the rise.
Right. And I don't want to say new as if like I'm saying all these guys are all green, because it's been 4 or 5 years now. So like they, I wouldn't call them green anymore, but to me they're still new because I really haven't been around.
That's true.
MPW's my real like exposure back to the main wrestling scene. So I want to get up to Crown at some point. Those guys are way up there, but it'd be well worth the trip.
Yeah, we support our friends at Crown, but it is quite the hike to go up into the old tundra of Maine there.
But if you can get up there to their shows, I've heard they've got great shows. They've got a great roster, and they've got a really dedicated fan base, and I love seeing that.
And one of their champions is another friend of the podcast, Dylan Nix, and he's doing good things too. I love Dylan. He's one of my favorites, and I like him in singles and in a tag team.
I look forward to. I want to we have a tag match against. Oh, hi, Missy. The comments are popping up live on my screen too.
Good. That's what I wanted to do, so we can both just respond to them.
Thanks for tuning in, Missy. What was I saying?
You have a tag match coming up with somebody?
Yes. A tag match I definitely want down the line with Jimmy and I is against the Wild 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 rather. We did face them in a triple threat tag match when we originally won the MPW tag titles, but Dylan Nix was taken out early in the match, so I did get in there a little bit with Big Cat. He and I were supposed to have a singles match, but full disclosure, going through mental health things, and it just wasn't a good night for me to be wrestling. So our match never ended up happening, unfortunately. But I talk openly about that. Self-care is important.
Of course it is. Especially because wrestling is a bitch goddess, and I will say that. We are our own biggest critics. We get down on ourselves, all this stuff, and wrestling, like, nothing. I always tell people this, and like, why do you want to wrestle again? And I always tell, nothing is like having a crowd chant your name or boo you. Either way, because it means you're doing your job. You're there and you provided entertainment, and nothing gets that feeling out there like that.
I live for it. I live for the big pops. I live for the entertaining part. I'm a storyteller, I guess you could say. That's what I love about wrestling is the storytelling, the showsmanship, the entertaining part. I love being an entertainer.
Oh, and that's fair. And like everyone's like, oh, you could join a band. I'm like, I don't want to do that. No, I can't play an instrument, and Lord knows I can't sing. I tried that once at crap, I don't remember who it was for. Probably IWE.
Yeah, the little jesters there.
Oh yeah. I did sing "Here Comes Santa Claus" though at MPW, and that was pretty fun.
Oh yeah, I remember that
for Santa, and like, who sang that? I was like, that was me.
I was jamming.
You said you have a list of people that you want to work with. Who's on your list? I'd like to know that, singles or tag teams.
Well, let's start with singles. I'd definitely finally love to get my match with Big Cat, Tyler Adams. He's a good dude. He's a big guy who can move. I respect that. I learned that same skill set from Eric Johnson. He trained me primarily. He brought me up in the business. But he he taught me how to wrestle like a big guy, but Eric can move too for a big guy. So I learned a lot of that from him. I see a lot of that in Big Cat. So I would definitely like to finally get my match with him. His partner as well, Dylan Nix. If not in a tag match, I would love to challenge Dylan Nix one-on-one sometime. I've been able to get into the ring with Donkey Boy. That was a good experience for me. I also got to wrestle in a tag match, Little Joey Nails, who it surprised me. He was one I didn't really get to see a lot of prior to it, but it was actually a pleasure to work with him.
That's good to know. I heard that he's up and coming as well.
Yeah, he's got a good skill set behind him as well. So I definitely wouldn't mind having another run at that. As you know, I've been really the one more Mikey wants me to talk about One Warrior Nation.
I mean, yeah, go ahead. A lot of people don't know the story, so
I'll circle back around to that. But yeah, those guys for sure. Singles match. I've been in the ring with the Pathway a bunch lately. That's always an experience. They're tough, and I'll give them that. Jimmy and I we're a seasoned team. We know each other so well. We've got that connection as friends also that make for a great tag team. But like their numbers game is too much to overcome. So,
and they keep, as I said earlier, they keep adding numbers. So like,
I look forward to dismantling the Pathway single-handedly. You heard it here first.
I'm excited to see that.
The demise of the Pathway will come by my hand.
I think they all share one brain.
Yeah, and it's Samuel Matthews' brain too.
That's rough.
Very, yeah, little dude's a little scary. I will admit. Yes, F the Pathway.
I have to concur with that because I'm just going to support that. I support my boys here. I support the problem. Like you're the problem, but I think the problem's going to solve the Pathway.
I'm here for the name change. We were going to come back as the station, but I think that's gone by. So we came up with the problem together.
No, I like it. I think it fits you guys.
We got, some sick matching gear now, thanks to my partner.
I did see that. I saw the promo and I was like, ooh, matching gear. I love that.
We mean business now. We're coming out there looking, like a patchwork team in our different outfits, but thanks to Limits, we got some fancy new stuff going. I like it.
Well, good job, Jimmy Limits, because I think you guys look like fire. It's great. I love tag teams with matching gear.
And like he says, we're not just a problem, we're the problem.
The problem. Sorry. I misspoke.
So back to what Mikey said, One Warrior Nation. So this guy, One Warrior Nation, used to rip off the Ultimate Warrior's gimmick. Now, admittedly, when I was new, I was kind of like, is this the Ultimate Warrior? Like, I was young and naive, so I believed it for about 2 seconds. But I remember I got picked to work with him. Eric came out back and had him pick, who do you want to work with? I want to work with the big guy. And I was like, uh-oh. Brand new, so I was scared. But we went out there, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I think I did great. I was still listening, even though I probably shouldn't have a few times. Yeah, Mikey was the ref for the match. One Warrior Nation told me, we're out back and we're talking about the match, and he's like, all right, so then I'm going to press slam you. And I looked at him like, what? You're going to press slam me? Okay, I'm a 300-pound guy, but all right. So when he tried to do it in the match, it ended up getting me up on his shoulders and then just kind of dumping me. I remember it knocked the wind out of me. And then I was laying on my stomach, and then he did a splash and tried to pin me. And Mikey was like, he's on his stomach, and he's like, count it. And Mikey's just like, no.
I remember I was there for that, and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
I'm like, he just like bent my leg back, and he's like, that's hooking the leg. Come on, count it. His shoulders are down. I was like, I'm on my stomach, bro. My shoulders are not on the mat, unfortunately.
Lawler said that's a Kamala move. I think that the Warrior splash too, but I think that he's supposed to splash you when you're laying on your back. I don't know why One Warrior Nation thought that he was.
Yeah, that's what he did. It was. I mean, I don't even want to call it a splash. He ran at me and looked like he tripped, essentially, and just kind of fell on me. I believe I had Lawless at ringside for that, and I could hear him groaning on the on the outside, like, "Oh, this is terrible." But I remember him. I remember him getting. I want to say he got banned from coming back because he like pinned somebody up against a wall or something like that. When
he did in the restaurant, yes.
Yeah, so that was the end of One Warrior Nation.
Good riddance, though.
I mean, he looked just like the Ultimate Warrior. I will say, he put the makeup on. He came out and ran around the ring doing the Ultimate Warrior thing. He was blown up by the time he got in the ring.
So it was just like the real Warrior then.
Yeah, just the whole time. I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my gosh, that was terrible.
Thanks, Mikey, for bringing that back up. Ricker might have PTSD from that match.
A little bit. I won't take any splashes while I'm face down.
Lawler said he's smaller more. Yeah, he was definitely smaller. Like, he's probably my height, honestly. So like 5'7", maybe 5'8". He wasn't as tall as Warrior. He was pretty jacked, though. And he, as you said, he did look like the Warrior until you got up close, and then it wasn't the same.
Yeah, you found out his name was like, I don't remember his name, but
it's Dominic something.
Yeah, Dominic. So I was like, you're not the Ultimate Warrior. Why are you stealing his gimmick?
And you made it on $5 Wrestling or whatever it was called. With that match there.
The Timu Warriors, Lawless says.
Hey, I think Timo could have got us a better Warrior than that.
At least he didn't steal
chips. I bet he
chips.
charged an arm and a leg.
Oh, yeah. Then there was Savio Vega, who I remember he stole a bag of chips from the restaurant out back where they, kept all their stuff. He just, helped himself, was walking through the restaurant eating them.
I do remember that.
Lost us half of our locker room space because of that. We couldn't go over on that side anymore.
Yep. Damn Savio Vega.
These names just showing up and causing trouble.
Yep, they did. He also gave Lawless fitness advice, which is one of my favorite stories.
Oh yeah.
Yep. That's a funny one to me. All right, so let's throw some questions at you since nobody else is throwing questions. So let's if you could wrestle anyone alive or dead in your entire career, who would it be?
I would love to wrestle. Oh gee. I'd love a good big guy versus big guy match. I would love to wrestle Earthquake or Typhoon. I think one of the natural disasters.
The Aftershock versus one of the natural disasters. I could see that. I mean, Earthquake is R.I.P. Earthquake, and Typhoon is very, very old and definitely not working anymore. I know he still shows up and does cons and stuff like that, but. All right, I'm trying to think of some more questions here. My brain is just mush today because I took a nap and it didn't really work. Let's think. Does anybody have any questions for Ricker or me other than talking about One Warrior Nation or any of that stuff?
I'm an open book.
He is, so we can ask anything. Should I ask your feelings about a certain person we talked about earlier, or should we leave that alone?
No, you can ask whatever you like.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to do that. I don't want to get kicked off my podcast because he might try to come kill me too. So.
Oh no, yeah.
What is one movie you would never want to take again?
The German suplex off the second rope.
Ooh, yeah, that doesn't sound like fun. Who'd you get that from? Do you remember?
Alexander Lee.
Oh, yep, that doesn't surprise me.
But I mean, it looked great. I don't think I landed correctly. But it looked awesome. It really sucked.
Missy asked, what is one of your favorite matches?
The match one of my favorite matches is definitely the final confrontation match I had with Johnny. Pretty early in my career, I became Twin Cities champion. I was the last Twin Cities champion because that got unified with the IWE title. It got unified with the MEW title. But my match with Johnny, it was the match where I really stepped up to that next level, and knew I could hang with guys that have been around for a while. Johnny was one of the first people I met in IWE when I was up there. One of the first people that took me in and treated me like part of the team instead of just, hey, this kid who showed up from Auburn.
Yeah, I mean, you were always legit with me, so I just took a liking to you. So,
Mikey said, favorite venue to work in, definitely Cityside. That building has got memories upon memories upon memories for me, and Fairfield's a close second, very close second. But the old Cityside Restaurant in Brewer, Maine is definitely one of my favorite venues of all time. I really also like the venue that Ryan Michaels uses sometimes, the Dome.
Oh, the Narraguagus Dome. Yeah, that one's really nice.
Narraguagus Dome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really do like it's a big venue, and I'd really love to see us pack it sometime. The venue on Indian Island.
That is a nice venue, yes.
It's got good locker room space. It's got a huge open space for the show, plenty of tables for the wrestlers to sell merch, and like we said, we will be back there June 6th. So if you're watching, definitely come out and check out the King of New England Rumble at least. I mean, your boy's going to be in it. My homeboy's going to be there with me. And it's the problem, so one of us is going to win. I mean, that's just obvious.
But don't forget also MPW is offering in this month $10 tickets.
I know
So
tickets for $10 to
yeah,
see a whole show, some title matches, see Brian Kendrick. You can't
right.
really beat that deal.
That's cheaper than going to a movie. That's cheaper than taking your significant other out to eat. Be like, lady, we're gonna go see some wrestling. We're gonna see some boys kick their ass. And yes, I've said the A word a couple of times. Megan's gonna yell at me later, but that's okay. So Baldy Bear asked if you could rewrite any IW storyline, match, or rivalry, would you? And if so, which would it be? That is a good question.
If I had to pick one, oh my gosh, that's hard. Once upon a time, I would have said my feud with Fox Vineyard. I think. I think that was the first time I was champion. I lost the title, and then now I had to chase it. I wasn't a big fan of that. But I actually learned a lot in that feud in the end. So I guess I would redo. If I could really redo something, it would be, and I don't mean to throw shade here, but I would be bomb buying the company.
I mean, that's not really throwing shade. That is something that is legit happened.
Everything is subsequent. Everything that subsequently happened after that, I would love to wave a wand and redo without the influence of the people who were in charge, who wanted it to go a certain way, but the way they wanted it to go really didn't jive with what the rest of where the product was actually going. We lost a lot of fans. Gosh, I'm trying not to be shady, but it is what it is. Like we had a particular audience member who was close with the people in charge, who loved to cuss and swear at the top of her lungs, and
yep.
It drove a lot of our families away, and so kids stopped coming to the show. It became like a show for adults essentially at one point, because we had audience members who couldn't help but cuss every 2 minutes.
Yeah, right. Like if we're not supposed to cuss, then they shouldn't be able to cuss. Well, Jimmy Limit said it. He brought the name in. We don't have to say it, but you can read the comments and see who said it.
Thanks, homie.
That's why you're the problem.
I told myself I would be good this time on the podcast and not anger the general wrestling public with my opinions.
Hey, we have 11 viewers, and that is probably the most viewers I've had on my podcast ever. So there we go.
Wow.
That's good. And you're only the third guest. So Megan asks you, what is the moment in your career that you will cherish the most?
I think the thing I cherish the most from my career are the friendships I've made. When I lived in Bangor, I used to host a lot of the guys that would come up from out of state. I'd give them, let them come crash at the apartment. I've formed lifelong friendships with you, John.
Yep.
Other guys from up there, Neil, especially, Neil and I lived together for a while. But I would host, James and Black Rose, Elite Terrell, the Era of Violence, JP a couple times when he was floating about. And I think the bonds I made with those guys and you, and I think is what the thing I took away from wrestling the most is that the friendship and the family, the chosen family, I guess I call it.
So Keith asked me what my favorite wrestling matches of all time. Are you referring to my matches or matches altogether? Because I don't think I can pin down a favorite match, because I've had so many moments in my career that I've just enjoyed that I can't pin down just one match that I can say is my favorite. I mean, maybe the Ice Creams versus me and Joe, just because that match was so fun that not a lot of people got to see. That's definitely one of my favorites. Our Final Confrontation match is one of my favorites. Me and Mikey's Fans Bring the Weapons is another favorite. I just can't nail one down. Mikey, if you read his Facebook, you know what his GPA is. He did great.
Give me a chance to brag on myself some more. Yes, I am currently going to school online. It's for my bachelor's degree in special education. And I just finished this semester with a 4.0 GPA.
Everyone give him a round of applause. I'll give him a golf clap so it's not too loud on the pod.
Yeah.
So I got a few more questions for you. So matches all together. Damn it, Keith, you're gonna make me think. Some of my favorite matches were Macho Man and Steamboat. Like that's where I got a lot of my stuff. Raven and Tommy Dreamers, where I took a lot of stuff from as well, because I was a big ECW guy and I loved WCW. So anything with a Flock in it. Diamond Dallas Page is a big influence. So one of my favorite matches of all time, I don't remember the date of it, but it was Chris Benoit, Diamond Dallas Page, and Raven, triple threat for the U.S. title. So that's probably one of my favorite matches I've ever seen. And that's a bang. If you haven't seen it, I think it's Spring Stampede 98 or 99. Could be 97. Look it up. It's a great match. So I do have a few more questions for you.
Yeah.
Since we got like 14 or so minutes left. What is one piece of advice you would give to someone coming into the business now?
The ears open, mouth shut, I guess, is a good. It doesn't sound like a motivating statement, but you can learn a lot if you just open your ears and listen and are receptive to constructive criticism. I think some of us take ourselves too seriously in a business where we're trying to entertain the crowd, and I think we lose the message of what we're trying to do sometimes. In that, so don't take yourselves too seriously. Have fun. Like this, wrestling is supposed to be fun.
I agree.
If you're not having fun and it feels like a job that you don't want to do, then you know.
Don't do it.
Maybe you should reevaluate. Yeah.
Don't. Yeah.
There was a time I needed to take a break for a while, but I didn't. I kept going and going. It was towards the end of IWE. I was hurt, but I didn't want to take the time off because I felt like this is what I have to do. I have to do wrestling because I have to. Blah blah blah. But if I'd have taken that time, I probably, would have been back in the ring much sooner. But I pushed myself too far, and that's why I left IWE right at the end. Is just because I couldn't take it anymore. It stopped being fun.
And I was there for that, and you are correct. It was not fun anymore.
Yeah, it was not fun trying to keep the ship from sinking, even though I was, you know what I mean? I wasn't driving the boat, but I was sure trying to scoop the water out of it as fast as I could.
We all were, and we all were trying, but when you're just 2 steps forward, 4 steps back was pretty much what it was.
Yeah. But I mean, now we've got, hope, IWE's back in the ownership rights are back in Eric's hands. What he does with that is, I know they had a reunion show of sorts. But so I guess like the thing I hated about it most is gone. It's not in the hands of someone who had no business owning it in the first place. But circling back to what I said is, don't take yourselves too seriously and have fun. If it's not fun, reevaluate.
My big thing, and I'll give you this advice, and I'll give it to everybody, is respect. That is a big thing that is wrong with the wrestling business right now. And I'm not saying respect the veterans, which you should anyways, but wrestling has expanded. We have gay people, bi people, pansexuals, trans people, male, female. You know what I mean? It's a vast majority of people. And if you don't like something like that, then you shouldn't be in wrestling, because wrestling is for everybody. Exactly. And I hate seeing my trans friends or my gay friends or any of my friends like that get disrespected because their lifestyle is different than yours. And it bothers me. So I'm just saying respect everybody. Unless they're a piece of garbage. That's
that's great. That's great advice to give, because we all play characters. That, you know what I mean? Like, the world of wrestling itself is filled with people from different backgrounds, different lifestyles, and so are the people who play those characters. You know, they have lives too, and they're here for the same reason that the rest of us are here, because we love what we do.
Exactly. Okay, so I'm going to give you another question. It's not a softball. This is my hardball question. I usually end the podcast with, what is your biggest regret in wrestling?
I honestly regret not leaving IWE when everyone else was leaving IWE. Mainly because of just all the crap that came with it after, and all the stuff that I got put through and dealt with. I think there was a time when the ownership changed hands. There was a mass exodus of a lot of the people who were there. I won't, I'm not going to name them, because I mean, it's so long ago that it doesn't matter. But I stayed behind because I thought that if I didn't, there would be a handful of the newer, like some of the newer people coming in, that I had, got taken an affinity for, like the newer trainees and stuff like that, trying to take them under my wing and help them help them how you helped me.
Yep. No, I understand.
I wanted to do that. But like I said, the ones of us who were there till the end, we just couldn't scoop the water out of the boat fast enough.
It's true.
So I didn't get in with like Limitless or Let's Wrestle at the time, which is something I did want to do once upon a time when I was a little younger and a little more thirsty for competition. So I do regret not taking that opportunity. I did have an opportunity. I want to say there was like a local guys match on the very first or second Limitless show that I was going to be part of. But at the time, it was you either wrestle here or you wrestle there kind of situation, and I decided to stay put. So I regret and I also regret not getting out there more, getting out and traveling more. I could have got more shows down in Massachusetts, New York, Vermont. It was another place I would have loved to wrestle in New Hampshire. But I didn't really get out there much, and that's another thing I regret, is not doing as much traveling as I could have.
And sometimes it's tough. Megan just gave us a nice sappy, well, I appreciate it. Says, thank you both for all you've done for independent wrestling here in Maine. To work alongside you both over the years has been amazing and certainly an experience. We appreciate the kind words, because, we're old and beat up now, so it's nice to know that what we didn't go in vain. Does anybody else have any questions for Ricker? We've got 12 viewers, or me. We've got a few more minutes left, so we can toss some questions out. Anything you want to ask him like his favorite brand of donuts. I don't know. Ask him something. He's here. I mean, who doesn't like donuts?
I like a good. I'm not really. It's probably surprising to hear, but I'm not huge on like sweet treats. But if I do have a donut, I love a nice blueberry cake donut from Dunkin' Donuts.
That's a good seed. That's why we're friends right there, because that's a solid pick.
Yeah.
I had a peanut butter whoopie pie as my birthday cake. Oh, Ricker already told. Well, all right. I'm gonna talk about it. You're open, right? So you're an open book. My favorite Ricker story is when Ricker told me that he was gay, and just because I think that he thought it was going to change something between us. And I think that was the time you stayed the night at my house. You're like, yeah, I'm gay. I'm like, hey, that's cool. Have a cup of coffee. And I always tell that story. It just shows how accepting I am of everybody, because I love you no matter what. Like, you could have been, whatever you wanted to be. And I was like, cool, that's fine with me, because you're who you are. That doesn't you identify that, but you know what I mean. You're still my friend, and you'll always be my friend. Ride or die homies forever, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that is my favorite Ricker story. And also the the power bomb was just fun because I don't think either of us thought we were going to pull it off as well as we did. So that story was good. I'm like, hey, I'm going to power bomb you off the second rope. And you're like, are you sure? I'm like, no, I'm not sure. I think we're going to do
sure, but but we're going to do it anyway.
We're going to do it anyway. So then you're like, okay, I trust you. And then some guys you just don't have that trust with in wrestling. Like there's guys that I wouldn't let give me a move that's going to like mess up my neck. Not that I'm wrestling anymore, but there's certain guys that I trust to do, and there's certain guys that I don't trust. Oh, Megan wants to know what your ultimate munchie is. So there's a question.
I am a chips and melted cheese kind of gal.
I mean, that's a good choice.
I'll tell you, I also lately I've been snacking on a lot of string cheese too.
That's a good one too. Of course, Mikey has to talk about him with the title naked. Mikey, nobody wants to think of you naked.
I remember that. That's my favorite hashtag Mikey story.
Oh, it's supposed to be my birthday, Mikey, and now I have to get that image out of my head. That's horrifying. So we're going to end it here, I guess. It was a pleasure having you. Before we end, though, we're going to talk about June 6th, Summer Spectacle, Indian Island, Maine, $10 tickets. You can see The Problem in the King of New England Battle Royal. Alan Prophet versus Brian Kendrick. The Brian Kendrick, I'm sorry. We also have a couple other Black Rose versus Jason Mag for the open weight title. And Eric Johnson's going to be there, the current MPW champion. So, and then also Phoenix Pro, June 27th, the Cape Park Boys and Girls Club. There's a lot of solid matches there. So come on and support local wrestling if you can. Support Adam Ricker. Support me. I show up once in a while, the wrestling shows. You can come say hi. Maybe I'll give you an autograph. Maybe I'll call you a bad word. We'll see. So again, Ricker, thank you for joining us. And thank you, fans, for watching today. And I'm going to go eat some pizza.
Thank you, guys. I had a blast, Primer. Happy birthday and enjoy your pizza.
Thank you, sir.